Hello everyone, welcome back to Rob's Movie Reviews. This week I'd like to review a movie for you that's one of my personal favorites. It's a fun little movie that came out back in 1980. It initially didn't do very well at the box office. It was looked down upon by movie critics and moviegoers alike initially. The funny thing about it, it did something that was very uncommon. Even to this day, it actually did better near the end of its theatrical run, far as box office receipts, than it did originally when it first came out. And the movie I'm talking about is the 1980 science fiction adventure film Flash Gordon. Great movie. Mainly believe the reason it did so poorly right out of the gate was that people were expecting the wrong thing from it. You got to remember, this is 1980. It was at a time where science fiction was all the rage. You had many different science fiction franchises. You had Star Wars was huge. The resurgence of Star Trek at the theaters. Battlestar Galactica was on television at this time, and everybody was being exposed to this more serious science fiction adventure type of movies and television programs, and they went to see Flash Gordon expecting the same thing. And as it turned out, the film was actually made as a homage film. It was to pay homage to and a tribute to the original comic strip that had run back. It started, I think, somewhere in the 1930s. It ran in almost every major newspaper in the United States. And then in the 40s and 50s, it was made into a serial that played at the movie theaters. It was very, very popular. And when they decided to do the movie in 1980, they wanted to basically pay tribute to the source material. So the film was made intentionally very campy, very cheesy, which actually gave the movie a lot of charm, made it very enjoyable. And once people figured out that that's what the film was really all about, the audience that wanted that started showing up, and that's when the box office receipts started to go way up. But again, by that point, it was nearing the end of its theatrical run. It achieved a cult film status. It draws good ratings every time it's shown on television. But I'm digressing at this point. I need to get on with the movie. It's like I said, it was intentionally made to be cheesy and campy. It stars Sam Jones in the title character Flash Gordon. He played the character so well, he was typecast and really was never able to get any more work or do anything else of any mention until the Ted movies that came out just about some time back, not too long ago, where he once again basically played the Flash Gordon character. Melody Anderson plays Flash's love interest, Dale Arden. They meet at the beginning of the film on an airplane that is intentionally caused to crash by the villain, who we'll get to in a moment. When the plane crashes, it crashes into a warehouse type laboratory out in the middle of basically nowhere, where Dale and Flash encounter Dr. Hans Zarkov, played by the famous actor Topol, who has been in films ranging from Flash Gordon to the 007 film For Your Eyes Only, but he will always be most known and famous for his performance in Fiddler on the Roof, where he did not only the movie version, but also he starred for many, many years in the Broadway musical play. Dr. Zarkov is a former NASA scientist. He has a theory that Earth is being attacked by forces outside of our solar system. NASA scoffs at him. They think he's a crackpot, while at the same time, some unexplainable energy beam is coming from outside the solar system and is pushing the moon toward the Earth. And by Dr. Zarkov's calculations, Earth only has about 3 days before it gets completely destroyed. Flash and Dale initially think he's a nut too, and they try to get away from him, but he forces them aboard his self-built spaceship at gunpoint, and they lift off, and they're on their way to the coordinates that Dr. Zarkov has calculated that the beam is coming from. They arrive on this alien world, and that's when they are taken prisoner immediately upon landing and taken before Ming the Merciless, the emperor of the planet Mongo. I absolutely love the character Ming. He's played by the actor, I'm going to butcher this name, but I'm going to try to get it right, Max von Schneido. I think that's right. It's probably way off base. But he's a very accomplished actor. He's actually another actor who has appeared in a James Bond picture. He played the part of Hans Blofeld. But he is brilliant as Ming the Merciless. We are also later introduced to other smaller supporting characters, but still played by well-known, or at least now well-known. Some of them were just getting started. You had Timothy Dalton, plays Prince Baron. He does a great job in this movie. Again, another tie-in to the James Bond series, as Timothy Dalton would later go on to play 007 himself. Then you've got Brian Bless, plays Prince Voltan, leader of the Birdmen, who are very significant late in the film in helping Flash battle Emperor Ming. And also appearing in this film, man most known for writing and starring in the Rocky Horror Picture Show, Richard O'Brien has a small role. He plays one of Prince Baron's spies. But I'm not going to tell you too much more about the plot of the movie. I wanted to fill you in on who is in it and the fact that it is a wonderful, wonderful film. If you like science fiction, but done with a lot of camp and a lot of 1980s style cheese, then you're going to love Flash Gordon. If you haven't seen it already, you absolutely have to find this movie. Find it on DVD on your favorite streaming service. But find this movie, check it out. It is a fun watch. You will have a ball watching this movie. Another thing I want to mention that just adds to this movie and makes it that much better, the soundtrack, all provided by a great 1970s, 80s rock band Queen. They wrote all the music for the film, performed it. It's very unique, very, very good music. It fits right in with the visuals that you see and the story that's being told. This is just a well-rounded movie. And again, if you watch it expecting to see a serious science fiction adventure movie, you're not going to get that. What you're going to get is a very campy, cheesy science fiction film that was made as a tribute to its source material, which was a comic strip that ran in most of the major newspapers throughout the United States in the 1930s and 40s, and in the 40s and 50s. It was a movie serial that was played on Saturday afternoons at the cinemas before the feature film, and it's a wonderful tribute to a bygone era of science fiction. And with that, I'm going to wrap up my review of Flash Gordon. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, you all take care.